When 9-year-old Hailey Rodenheiser was diagnosed with leukemia 2 years ago, she spent the holiday season in and out of the hospital.
Now, her mom says that she's been feeling down lately, so she asked her Facebook friends to send Christmas cards because Hailey loves getting mail.
Then came a call from CTV National News and more calls from international media. It exploded.
But there's so much more to Hailey Rodenheiser's story than getting thousands of Christmas cards. She's been fighting a serious disease for over 2 years. She's faced spinal taps and multiple rounds of chemotherapy, treatments that would scare most adults. Now her story has disappeared from international media, but her battle with leukemia continues.
I like to draw, I like to write, I like to read. I don't do anything active because I get tired very easily, and I like to cuddle with my stuffed animals, and as you can see, my kitty.
She is the only daughter of our 6 children, and a little bit unexpected because we really didn't anticipate having another child, let alone a girl. But she's very smart, sometimes too smart. You know how they say, too smart for your own good? Well, sometimes she's too smart. She's worried about other people when, even though she's not well, she worries about the kids in the next hospital room or, you know, whatever's going on.
In late 2014, Juanita Rodenheiser says she experienced the worst day of her life. It was the day she found out her 7-year-old daughter had a serious illness.
We were at a Christmas parade, and she just didn't seem like herself. She was tired, she didn't really want to be there, she was minding the cold, and I noticed that the next day she had a bit of a fever. So we just sort of gave her medication to bring down the fever, as you would with any kids, you know, fevers happen.
A few days later, her fever broke, but things were about to get much worse for Hailey. She had to be rushed to the emergency room from school one day.
And they took her blood and put her on IV fluids because she was dehydrated. And within 3 hours, they had her blood count back, and her white blood count was way high, which was indicative of leukemia. That's one of the signs, is a high white blood count. But that's really all she had, was a fever. And then she started feeling sick to her stomach, and she developed other symptoms as well. But at the pace that she was sick, the rate, it was very close to being very serious at that point.
Hailey was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia, a disease which begins in the stem cells of the blood. Immature blood cells go rogue, replicate, and overproduce. They begin to push out normal blood cells from the body, preventing them from doing their job.
Scared, afraid, worried, and sad.
This is how Hailey felt when she was first diagnosed. She was a child trying to understand what was wrong with her body.
Scared because I didn't know what it was at first, but now I know that it is more than what I thought. Because I thought it was just something simple.
It was also hard for her mom.
The first thing you think of is why? Why did she get sick? Especially where she had been so healthy for so long and never sick. You know, that's the question you ask. Why did it happen to her? Why did she get ill when, you know, there's lots of other kids that are always sick and it's just normal, everyday stuff, but they don't get something serious like that.
I was surprised because it happened so suddenly, and I didn't know why it happened. So I couldn't understand why it happened.
Hailey's treatment hasn't been easy. It's led to other complications and more time in the hospital for her.
She had fluid on her lungs in the beginning, and then she developed what's called steroid-induced diabetes, which is a result of the steroids and one of the chemo medications. Then she had to go on insulin, which we had to give her for a couple of weeks. And then in last September of 2015, she developed pancreatitis, which put her in hospital for a month. And that was probably the worst side effect that she had, was the pancreatitis. And then she developed some liver complications recently, which her liver's being affected by the chemotherapy. So they've had to lower her dosage because the chemotherapy is good for the disease, but it can also cause other problems, and they have to balance it. So they don't want to make it cause more problems than do any good. So that's where they're at now.
Hailey will face 6 rounds of treatment in total. She's already experienced more than 2 years of home care and frequent trips to the city for blood work, blood transfusions, spinal taps, and 2 kinds of chemo.
Sometimes I feel sick. With my spinals, I feel my back hurts, so we can't go home right away. This was my ER bear. When I was first diagnosed, they took me to the hospital and they gave me this bear with this little mask on it.
Although her treatment has become routine for Hailey, she says it still scares her.
Usually in the beginning when I get my port accessed, I'm usually very nervous, but after I get it done, it's not so bad, I find. It's just that I think of it too much and it makes me nervous about how it might turn in the end.
And throughout the course of this treatment, Hailey has formed many of her childhood memories here at the IWK.
The good ones were that I got to meet a lot of new friends, which was my favorite part about it. And some of my friends I've lost, but they live on in the bottom of my heart.
And this one looks like orange juice when it's mixed up.
This is one of the many medications Hailey takes. Juanita uses these blue gloves to administer the medicine because it's so strong it could burn her skin.
A lot of medication, a lot of pills. You have to deal with pills every day as parents, and you have to be the patient. That's the main thing. A child cannot do what needs to be done, and the nurses, when you're in the hospital, they expect the parents to take over with certain things.
Although these medications help Hailey's body fight the cancer, they take a toll on her.
It also emotionally impacts her because some of the medications cause her to have emotional ups and downs, and it can be from 1 minute being up here to the next minute being down here, and she can't control it. And it makes it hard on us as her parents as well, because we don't, you don't want to see your kid upset, but you have to deal with it, and you still can't let them have whatever they want whenever they want it, because that's going to destroy them for later on in life. You still have to set ground rules.
Hailey always loved getting cards in the mail from her grandmother. So when her daughter was feeling blue this Christmas time, Juanita decided to ask her friends for cards to help cheer her up.
I kind of felt a bit sad because, there was nothing really happening and I couldn't do much.
And she was down, she was just not herself, she was not wanting to do her usual stuff. She just wanted to sleep.
Juanita's Facebook post went viral and the letters started to flow.
Well, when I got the first bunch of cards, it was like, this is gonna be just for a couple of days. It'll probably wear down a little. But then we started getting totes full and totes full.
Nestled away in this playhouse are cardboard boxes filled with letters for Hailey. It might not look like much, but nearly 50,000 cards are tucked away inside.
They've made lots of differences, and one of them is just making me feel happy again.
It's something special about people taking the time to write things down and to say things. I mean, even if it's just, get well soon, we're rooting for you, or, whatever it is.
Dearest Hailey, have a wonderful and Merry Christmas from all the way from
Jakarta, Indonesia.
Meet our dog,
Burrito.
Burrito! I know that I'm not alone in this, and that I've got other people that have gone through the same thing and are still going through it. This one is from Justin Trudeau, and it says, "Season's greetings." This one says, "Merry Christmas, Hailey. May all your hopes and dreams come true." And this one says, "Merry Christmas, Hailey."
Hailey has received cards every day since December, but then one day they stopped. This moment was fleeting and the cards returned a day later, but Hailey and Juanita were left wondering about the future.
I'm nervous, but I'm also glad because it's been so hard to get them all open. So they put Hailey's wish on it, and horse is my favorite animal, so they also put a horse on it, and blue's my favorite color.
And what was your Make-A-Wish?
It was a camper.
Hailey says she doesn't want to be forgotten.
Well, I don't want people to forget this. This was something that made me feel better. Maybe you should do it for others as well.
But Hailey also hopes that by giving back to her community, she can carry on the spirits of the cards through fundraising.
It means that I get to help out people like me and help them through rough times as well.
Juanita says right now all she wants to see is her daughter grow up.
So, you worry about every little thing, and you worry about your kids when they're younger and what they're going to do when they get older. I just want to see the next year, the next birthday, the next Christmas, just get there to that point. Whatever she wants to do when she gets older, that's up to her. I'm not going to worry about it.
And Hailey knows exactly what she wants to be when she gets older.
I want to be a vet because I want to help out other animals. Because I want to help out animals that are hurt and sick. And I want to help big and small animals. I don't want to help out just one.
But before Hailey can chase this dream, she needs to finish her treatment first. She'll get her last chemo treatment 3 days before she turns 10. Over the next 5 years, she'll still need to return to the hospital for regular checkups. And there always remains the possibility of relapse.
And I know that once the treatment is done, it's still going to be holding our breath every time she gets blood work done, because we're going to be waiting for the test results, wondering what they are. So it's nerve-wracking because now she's off the medication and her body could do whatever it wants, rebound whatever way, and we're just waiting. And we're hopeful that because she's done so well, that she will not have to go through this ever again.
Well, I would say, first of all, it's very, very hard. And once you get through maybe about half of it, it gets better and it gets better, but it's also getting harder. Because you're near that point where you're near the end, and it's like, what if this happens to me again?
But Hailey says her team of heroes helps her face this fear. They're called Hailey's Heroes, a group of people who are dedicated to taking on cancer through fundraising.
Well, that's helped a lot because I get to know that I'm helping other people get a faster way to cure this, so maybe it won't be as long. So people won't have to go through as much time as I have.
This whole experience has made Hailey a strong little girl who has wisdom beyond her years, and she wants people to know just how much their kindness has meant to her.
Thank you, and it's made my life a lot better.
Do a countdown? Let's do it with it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,